Okay, welcome back everyone to the second lecture of day one, week one, web fundamentals. We are going to be demoing the profile page assignment. We're going to be demoing some lists and some tables. We're going to be going over some forms. And if we have some time, we're going to be demonstrating some GitHub. So, I need to ask, does anyone not have GitHub set up? And it's okay if you don't, but does everyone have GitHub set up? Or type in the chat if you don't have it set up. Omar, do you have GitHub set up?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. I think that covers everyone else. Leo, I haven't checked on you. I was meaning to check on you today. Do you have it? Okay, well, then we can skip GitHub today. Everyone's set up as far as I know then. And we can just demo as much HTML as we need. So that's exciting. And then we'll stop at 3, let you guys continue on with your projects. Again, today's push to GitHub, dictionary entry, fix indentation, registration form, portfolio content, then do the reading for tomorrow. And of course, you can do tomorrow's assignments. You can do styling, GitHub blocks. But if you ask me CSS questions today, I am going to prioritize people that are working on HTML today if you need help, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We are on the HTML section. We are going to be going over, we went over all these pages, elements, and tables. So let's do a little quiz here, all right? If I want to create a list, how do I do that? Which tag?
It's li or ul or ol.
Yeah.
Okay, which one?
Depends on what kind of list you want to make.
Exactly. So if I want to make an ordered list,
Oh well.
okay, and unordered, then would be ul. Okay, and within these tags, then what do I put for my items, for my list items?
Li.
Okay. All right, what about for an image?
Is it href or png?
That's A for anchor.
Source. Href. img.
img.
Okay, that makes sense.
img. Okay, and then what do I put in the opening tag for the img?
This is the part I miss. Oh, my internet was acting up.
SRC.
src. What does src stand for?
Source.
Yes. So here we put the source of the image. Okay. What other attribute do I need to add to the opening header tag for the image?
An anchor tag.
An
Right?
anchor tag is for a link.
Oh, a link, a hyperlink. Okay, you're right.
Okay, so what do we do in case the image doesn't load? What do we put there? An alt. Thank you, Omar. An alt. And the alt tag, what should it have?
Doesn't it just like describe what the image was supposed to be?
Yeah, describe image. Okay.
What
And
happens if you don't include alt?
Then on your test, you'll get marked down.
Wah, wah, wah.
It'll still, I mean, if the SRC works, it'll still load. But we're going to be checking to see that you're using proper syntax if you use the alt in case for whatever reason it doesn't load. Maybe on the user end, the image won't download or something. So you want to have an alt there. Okay,
What
and
appears?
what's that?
What appears? Does the alt tag appear? I forget.
It appears if the SRC doesn't load.
Okay, thanks.
And do we include a closing tag for an image? I see some heads nodding like this. Circle. Just close it, right? No closing tag. Actually, didn't see any circle heads. I'm just teasing you guys. All right. Okay, cool. So we got that. What about someone said it already for a link?
Anchor.
Okay. So anchor tag. And what's included in the anchor tag?
Is it href?
Yes. And in here, we have the https://Google or whatever website that we want to include.
Sorry, what does it say after the A there?
That href. R. And then there's an equal sign. And then in quotations, what you want to link to. Okay, is there a closing tag for an A tag? I see some nods. Yes, it looks like this. And then what goes in between the closing and the opening of the A tag? Not everyone at once. Text for the link. Thank you, Spencer. So then in between the closing and the opening, we put the text that we want to be visible that will be a blue link, a blue underlined link for the link that we're trying to link it to. Okay, let's go over a couple more. What if I want to create a really big header on my page?
H1.
Yes, sir. I'm going to create an H1 tag. And inside, we'll have our header. And then we close it like that. Okay. And if I just want to have some basic text on my page, what do I do? P tag. Thank you, Carlos. Nice job. Sooner we answer, the sooner we can get out of here. Basic text. And it looks like that. Okay, now let's put these to use. All right, so you guys went through that pretty quickly. Now the assignment we're going to work on is the profile page. So I'm going to build this in front of you guys. And then let's see, where is the profile page? Should be in HTML. It should be here. portfolio content. This is going to be our profile page. This is the end goal for the day. So I think most of us are getting to this point, so it wouldn't harm to go ahead and build this in front of you guys here. Or we can take a vote. Do we want to do this one first? This assignment? Actually, skip that. We're not voting. This is a dictatorship. I'm saying we're going to do this. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and build this. And we're going to also have to validate our HTML. In case you don't know, go to this website. You can find this website on Google by just typing HTML checker.
Do you recommend we do this with you, or are we just following along?
Just follow along. Just follow along. Yeah. Do this on your own so you get your own practice, even if you understand what I'm doing. But if you don't, then just observe, let it sink in, and then try to do it based off your own understanding when you get to it. Whatever HTML I'm going to build, I'm going to copy and paste it into this area here. And I'm going to make sure that all the HTML I've created is correct. So I'll make some mistakes on purpose after I'm done to show you what it looks like when there are some errors. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at my page here. Okay. So I have one that says portfolio. So let's go ahead and get this started. I am going to create a new window here. I'm going to open a new folder. I'm just going to create a new one here. I'm going to call it portfolio. Now that I'm here, I am going to create an HTML file. So I'm going to say index.html. And now I am in my HTML file. I'm going to try to expand this as much as possible. And then I'm going to create the boilerplate for the HTML file. So I type in exclamation mark, then enter. And then I am going to change the title here so that it says the same title as I see here, portfolio. So I'm just going to type in portfolio. And I'm going to type in hello world just to see that I'm connected. Now, I'm going to use another tool that I'm going to recommend to you guys here. If I go to extensions and I search here, live server, I should be able to see this extension here that says live server. Has a blue, like a radio symbol here. So we're going to download this one. I already have it installed, so you can do that on your own time. And what this does is as soon as I make any changes, as soon as I save those changes on my code editor, it's going to reflect on the browser. So here I am. I have my hello world. It's not going to say the exact path, file path location, because it's a live server. So it's going to have this 127.0.1, etc. So that's how you use live server. You right click, you click open with live server. Now if I want to see some changes reflected right away, what I can do is say these are some new changes. And I see that reflected right away over here. Okay. Now, does anyone have any questions at this point?
Yeah, where'd you get the reference, the code that you put between the two head tags? Where did you get that? Where did you copy that from?
The two head tags, this here. So what I did was I typed in exclamation mark. And as soon as I just type in one exclamation mark, I just press enter. And then I just changed the title here to say portfolio.
And you could do that for any HTML document.
Any HTML document.
Cool.
All right, good questions. And be sure to read the chat here. Joseph will drop some knowledge that will supplement the lecture. So keep your eyes on both if you can. When you install an extension and you right click and open with live server, it will open for that specific file that you're working on. If you want to see a new file, you're going to have to open with live server that specific file that you want to see. Justin, I saw your question there, so that's what I'm answering. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Okay, so where was I? I want to copy this profile here. So what's going to be the first tag that I enter in here? H1, okay. It should say programmer name. I'm going to just make it say exactly what I want it to say. What I'm seeing there. You guys can change it to your own name if you'd like. And now I should see that reflected programmer name. Cool. And below I have an image, right? So I'm going to say image. And if I just type in IMG without typing the open caret close IMG. So if I just type in IMG and I press tab, it'll already give me the src and alt there that I need to fill in. So I need to give it a source, but I'm going to say profile image for the alt. Now I'm going to dig up a profile image from the internet, show you guys how easy it is. So I'm going to say here, profile image placeholder. Okay, any that's close enough should do. Even one with the circle. Let's see if I can find a square one though. Any squares around here? Maybe one over here. And maybe Google will find a square one for me. This is good enough. I have one saved already that I can pull up for you guys, but I want to show you guys how to do this way. Now I'm going to rename it profile, and I'm going to find portfolio. And here that now I'm in portfolio, I'm going to create an images folder. And I'm going to save it to the images folder. As soon as I created that images folder, now you can see it's reflected on my Visual Studio Code here. So for src, I'm going to do /. It's going to find my images folder, and then I'm going to select it here and see if I can now view it. on here. It's a little big. So I'm going to have to adjust the size. Maybe I have another one saved here that I would like to use. So let me see if I can find a better image. And while I do this, let me ask here if you guys have any questions so far.
How do you adjust the size of an image?
That is going to have to be done with a style tag, but I don't want to show you guys that yet because that's not something we're going to encourage you guys to do here. If I have to do it because I can't find an image that fits that size of the style that I want, then I might have to do that anyways. But let me see. I think I have an image here that should work. Oh, let me see here. I think I'm going to use my own personal profile image, one that you'll see on my. Maybe this will be the right size. That's me. Okay. It's kind of. That's still too big. Ugh, I don't want to see myself either. So I'm gonna make it back to the other one, and I'm gonna show you guys the forbidden rule here. And maybe this will be something that I can correct later on in another lecture. Okay. So I am going to do something that I don't want you guys to do, which is to style the profile picture or any of the images. We haven't taught you guys how to do this, but what you can do is as we teach you more CSS, as we teach you more rules here, I'll teach you guys how to do this the official way, but this is the unofficial way. If I see you guys do this on the test, I'm going to mark you guys up for it because this is not the way we're going to do it. I'm just going to do it for the sake of showing you guys how it's done. So I'm going to say style equals, and then height. I'm going to say 30 pixels. And this should say alt. Now, that's 30 pixels high. That's not very high. So I just want to show you guys, this is not supposed to be about styling, but let me go ahead and just adjust it anyway. 70, close, 90, it's better. What about 150? Okay, that's okay. And if I want to give it a box, like I see here, I'm going to say outline 2 pixels, solid black. And if I look here at my page, now I have a black box with an image in it. Okay, that's close enough to what we're trying to get here. And I actually want to make it smaller here. So maybe that's better. Right, that's closer to that. Now there's a couple more images that I want to pull. I have to get a this is a GitHub image, this is a LinkedIn image, and that is a email image. So I have those already saved. I don't want to search and waste time searching in front of you guys here. So I'm going to pull the email image here. I'm going to pull this GitHub image here. I'm going to pull this LinkedIn symbol here.
You're just pulling those from your file explorer and then just putting them in this folder here, right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I have them saved somewhere else here. So, and also there's this here that it's either that can be an image or you can adjust that to be a really big caret with the box outline. But because we haven't shown you guys how any styling techniques, don't worry about the styling on this page. Just get the basic skeleton. So this assignment's asking a little bit more than what we've taught you, but the point is that you figure it out on the next day, go back, make some changes if you'd like. But this is a practice assignment. It's not necessary to do that. So don't worry about that. Okay, now I want to pull up these images. And so what I'm going to do is make a new line here and say I'm going to pull them up right below. And as you can see here, as we build our page, anything that we define is going to be placed underneath the tag that we've already created. So if I want to create a new image here, what's the image that I'm pulling up? It's going to be the GitHub one. So I'm going to say image, then tab, and then I'm going to go to my images folder, pull up the GitHub, press tab again so I can go to the alt, and I'm going to say GitHub here. And it's huge. So I'm going to give it a little style. Again, this is not about styling. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand this is not the proper way to do it. I'll show you the official way to style. Now we have this image here next to it. I'm going to make that half the size that we see it. Maybe even less. Cool. That's better. But it's side by side. So what can we do here? We can insert a break tag. This is not something we've shown you, but let me show you now. If I type in BR within the brackets, caret brackets, it'll create a new line that everything below will be under. So if I say BR, then that's there. If I want to make an extra gap, then I can just type it in twice, BR, BR. And so now there's a little bit of space here. It doesn't matter because underneath it's right below and there's still a little bit of space below. So at your discretion, you can add breaks or not if you like. Now, next to this image, we have an A tag. And the href should link to nowhere in particular yet. So I'll just put a hashtag as a placeholder. And then it should say my GitHub here. So I'll say my GitHub. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's looking good. Now, I am going to do the same thing a couple more times. But because I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to do it over, I'm just going to copy this here and paste it below and do it again. So now I should have 3 that look the same. All I need to do is change the src and what the A tag says so that it reflects what I need it to say. So I'm going to delete here the first src and I'm going to say /images. And what was it? It wasn't email. It was LinkedIn, right? Yeah, LinkedIn. And I still have the style applied to it. So that's going to be the same height as the GitHub image. And it should say my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn. If I look here now, it's there. And I also want to change the GitHub, the third GitHub image to be the email one. And it should say my email. So I'll do that now. /images email. And then I'll switch this here to say my email. There we go. Okay. So now we have this top portion done. We're about a quarter way done. Now I want to create a table. Okay. One thing I'm not going to do is style this table. In order for this table to be styled, there's a bit of a trick to it, but I'm not going to get too deep into styling here. This is not what this lesson's about. It's about HTML. So I'm going to add another level of header here. So because it looks like the header of a technology section, I'm going to make it a header instead of a P tag that's boldened. And so who can tell me what header level I should use now?
H2.
H2? Okay, we can try that. Oh, but by the way, we're going to be leaving comments as we code so that our code is a little bit more readable for ourselves and for any user that's grading us, or like if we're collaborating on a team, comments are going to be good for us to use. So in order to use comments, I'm going to indent above the section I want to leave a comment for. I'm going to do // or actually I'll just type in plain text what I want the comment to be. So I'll say what should we call this area here? I'll just call it top section. Why not? Doesn't have to be too technical. If you guys think of a better name, I'll just change it. So if on here on a Mac, it's command / on a PC, it should be control /. If you are on the line, anywhere on the line, if you do that command there, you will add a comment. So now this area has a comment. I want to put another comment here to differentiate between this area and the previous area. This will be technology section. So I'll say technologies section. You will be graded on your test on if you leave good comments on your page. Okay, so now your eyes will divide the page by green comments. So now we have a technology section, and someone said H3. So what happens if you use //? Let's check it out. It doesn't work on HTML. There's a specific comment way for HTML, and it's like this. You don't have to memorize it. Your text editor will remember it for you. All you have to do is type in or hover over anywhere in the line that you're working on and do command / or control /. And now that we're here, what we want to do is start this technology section. Now someone said H3, so let's see what H3 looks like. We want to say technologies. So that we just have that there like that, technologies. And that is great, H3. Okay. That is the perfect size. Who said that? Carlos. Nice, Carlos. All right, now, so let's make a table. Who remembers how to make a table? Nice, table tag. So I'll just type in table. And I'll press enter here. And now that I have a table defined, it's not going to show until I put in these categories here. So how am I going to create this column row system? I want to create, okay, you're all nice. I really like your guys' participation. So for a table row, it's TR. For a table head, it's TH. And for TD, it's the for table data, it's TD for a table cell. So I want to create the headers first. So I'm going to say TH. Okay. And now if I want one table header, what do I put here? Let's go back to the platform and check.
Would there be a specific order you'd have to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to this table list and table section on the platform. And I'm going to dig it up here. So here's a table. Table row is going to have all the table headers. And the second row is going to have some information here. Third row is going to have some more information here. Why don't we just take this whole thing? instead of having to work so hard. I'm just going to just copy paste it. Now we have our new table. It has three headers there, so I'm just going to change that to reflect what I need. Front end, Python, JavaScript, database concepts. Front end, Python, database, JavaScript, database concepts. JavaScript. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, that's looking more like it. Doesn't have the lines in between, but we don't need that yet. Okay, now I need a couple extra columns. So what do I need to do in order to add those columns? More TH tags, exactly. So I'm going to say here, TH, and I know I need two more, right? So I'm going to say times 2, press enter. Now I have two more TH tags. And what are the last things I see? Database. And what's the last category? Concepts. Great. Now let's see. We have it going on here. Nice. So now we just need to adjust our table data cells within our table rows. I can also just copy and paste these rows. It's going to copy the data inside, but I'm going to delete that anyway. And now I just need to adjust, and I need one more row. So I'm going to copy this here and add one more row below this current existing row. So now it looks like pretty much the same as we see here, but I just need to adjust the data. So the first row should say HTML, Django, Express, MySQL, Ajax. Okay, so what if I adjust this here? It should say HTML5. Got it. Check. Now we need to replace this 2009 here. This one here. Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Well, you guys see me highlighting it. This 2009. So which row do I need to adjust now?
2009.
This PG one here.
What? For Django?
Right, because it's by row. So we're affecting the whole entire row, left to right. Oh, did I say the wrong one? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, you did. You threw me off. I was like,
I can't be right all the time. Just kidding. It's just my pride speaking. All right, so now HTML5, Django Express. Now I have a couple more, MySQL and Ajax. Cool. All right, 3 more. CSS3, Flask, Mongoose, MongoDB, OEP. See, what's the point of reading it fast? I don't remember anyway. I'll just pull it to the right. CSS3, Flask, Mongoose, MongoDB, OOP. Now I do Bootstrap. Unit test, React. This one doesn't have any data in this cell, so I'll leave it empty. and I'll say rest. Let's reset. Okay, so now if I look at my page, we're all set. We have our table. Now I want to add a couple breaks so I have some space between this table and the social snakes. So I'm going to copy the BR tags I created earlier. If I click 13, it'll highlight the whole line there on. So I'll just click 13. Now I'll click 53, where I want to paste it, and just paste it there. And now I should have a break below the table section. I'm going to add a new comment here that says social snakes area. That's going to be, how about we call that project area? So I'll say project section. That's better. I'll comment this out. So now I have 3 comments on my page that divide up the page evenly. And I'm going to insert this image that I assumed was an image. And it's going to be this HTML.webp image I found. So I'm going to say, well, first I think I need to add the social snakes at H3. So I'll say H3 social snakes. Let's take a look. It's there. Nice. Actually, I think too many break tags. So I'm going to delete one. And it moved it up. Okay, so that's better. And maybe I can do without a break tag. Is that what I... Yeah, I can do without a break tag at all. Okay. So now I just need an image here. So I'll type in IMG, then press tab. It'll fulfill the SRC and alt already. So I'm going to say /images. And then this HTML symbol, because that's what this is. Maybe I'll add a little style to this. Take from this style tag I already created. Actually, this one's better. And I'll say HTML symbol. It's too small, so I'll say 100 pixels. Okay, and I actually do want to keep the outline. So if you're trying to follow along, don't copy this inline styling. Okay, just do it without any styles. Don't create the bad habit already. Just do as I say, not as I do here. And when you learn how to style something, come back and do it that way. So now we have our symbol here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Maybe 80 pixels. That's better. Now I'm going to add this here. What should this be? Social media app made in Python. What should that be? The lines, that's some more styling, and I don't want to make this lesson about styling, Justin. So I'm going to skip the lines and let you guys figure that out for yourself once we get to styling tomorrow. Okay. This, as I said, this page requires some styling, and I'm doing it inline because I know, but when you guys learn how to do it tomorrow, you can do it the official way. All right. So what should that social media app made in Python, what tag should that be created in?
A P tag.
Nice. Thank you. P. Now, what does it say? Social media app made in Python. Okay. and a dash. And then here I have two A tags. Okay, so I can do this two ways. Either I can create an A tag, and then for this line in between that's not a link, this separating line, I can make its own P tag. Or the other thing I can do is stick some A tags within the P tag. So I want to do that instead. So I'll make an A tag. And here I'll put this thing here that just is a placeholder in the href. Now I'm going to say code. And so we have this so far. And now I want to do one more that says deployed. So in between this A tag, I'm going to throw in that symbol, type in A again, put in a placeholder hashtag, and I'm going to say deployed. There we go. Now I have one more section left. Contact me. All right, so I'm going to say contact me section. Make that a comment. Command slash. Now I have one section left and I have the contact me H3. Now below this, I have some forms. So how do I then create these forms? This is something we didn't go over yet. Let's go over this now. Forms. This is an input for text. If I say input type text name equals first name, I'm giving it a name. This thing here that holds the name is for when someone creates the form, or if someone is okay. Let's go over some other concept here. I'm nesting in concepts between concepts, but I think it's okay since you guys are pretty good students. You guys are advanced, anyways. So let me ask you guys a trick question here. This is not going to be something you're tested on, but this is just good information. If I can style something, if I can adjust the height of something, and I can make it bold, why does it matter, or why do you think it matters to make a difference between making H3 tags and P tags? If I can make all P tags to be text, to hold text, why then do I need to make H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags? Why can't I just make them all P tags, make them bold, and a certain height?
Hierarchy, and it's already built in.
Okay, there's a hierarchy, but why do we need a hierarchy?
Titles, subtitles.
Okay, but why not just create if to the user that's looking at this web page, what I can adjust the titles and subtitles of
You're rewriting code that's already written.
well, what do you mean by that?
I mean, the point of writing code is not to duplicate your code. And if you use like the heading tags, it's already designed in the heading tags. But if you use the paragraph tag, you actually have to design it yourself. Which
Right, okay.
means you're designing code that's you don't need to write.
That's a good reason. That is a good reason. I'm not going to say that's not a good that's not a valid reason, but there's a more important reason. If anyone can guess, if they don't guess in like 10 seconds here, I'm just going to tell you. Anyone have a good guess?
Joe says S.
Does anyone
Yeah.
have anybody in their friends or family that can use the internet but can't really read? What kind of users may not be able to read a web page that they're on?
A blind user?
Yes,
Blind
visually
people?
impaired users can't read, so they use accessibility apps that will read the page for them, and as it reads through the page, it'll highlight the section it's on. It'll go through this. It'll say heading level 1, programmer name, and then it'll go down to the next section. It'll say image, and then it'll read the alt. It'll say profile image, and then it'll read to the next section, image, GitHub image, link, my GitHub, image, LinkedIn image, and then it'll read everything, literally what it is. It'll say heading level 3, technologies. So we need to have, when we're building for a business or to have a professional website, we need to build for accessibility. Now, this is not why we're teaching you this now. We just want you to get in a good habit. But now that we know this, this is why we have a name for this input here. Because when the user, the visually impaired user, is, when it's highlighting this section, it's going to say input, type, text, name, first name. It's going to read that so that the user knows where he is on the, or he or she is on the page whenever they get there. So they need to know. Okay, so we need to give it a label. And so in this case, that's why we have these names. There are also for when we create forms that's going to take in data. This name is there so that we know where the data should go. Okay, there's more than one way to do something, but there's there's more than one purpose for naming here, having a name. Now the type is going to tell us what type of input it's expecting. So text is going to only take in text. You can put numbers as well, but if you say type number, then you can use these arrows to scroll up and down on numbers here. Now type password is going to block out whatever we put on the input. It's going to make it little black dots. The date, type date, is going to let you select from a date. It's going to give that date format. So if I select this date, for example, it's going to give me that information there. There's also a color input that's rarely used, but in case you need that for something that you're building, you can also use a color palette to select whatever color you want. Okay. And there's a couple other types of inputs. I'll be quizzing you guys on this later, so pay attention. We have two different, they're called radio inputs. Just like when you go on a radio station, if you're on one radio station, you're not on the other. Actually, that's not the case sometimes when you get like the, AM radio station, you're like on 3 at the same time and you get listen to all 3. But normally when you're on one station, you don't want to be on the other. Okay, so if I click normal, bold is not selected. When I click bold, only bold is selected. Now checkboxes don't work like that. Input type checkbox, it's going to take in, you can click as many checkboxes as you like on a form. You can select all of them or none of them, whatever you allow. You can put some JavaScript later on that will say if you check one checkbox, then the other ones won't be allowed to be checked. That's not something we're going to teach you yet. Just learn this is the input type for checkbox. And by the way, if we want to add a label for these radio inputs or these checkboxes, we want to, on the label, we want on the input, create the type, have a name, have a value. That's going to be the value that the form receives. Let's say we're building a full stack app. So just getting a good habit of doing that. And then we're going to give it an ID. ID equals normal. And so then when we create a label, the way we're going to associate that label with the input is by saying for, and that's going to be connected to the ID. ID equals normal. So label for input is going to be connected by this for and the opening part of the label tag, and it's going to know what it's for by the ID. Okay. Let's do a status check. Do we understand the difference between all these different form input types?
Yeah. Hey, Josh, I just wanted to ask the last ones that we were learning about, radio and checkbox. Is that the same code and format that they use for multiple choice questions like on an online test, and the checkbox would be all that apply, or is that different?
Yeah. So radio would be like a true or false. Checkbox would be select all that apply.
This is what you would use for if you were
Yeah.
making online quiz. Cool.
Depending on what you're using, yeah. So you can, yeah, if there's only one answer and you want the user to know there's only one answer, then use a radio input. If you know there's going to be more than one answer, select all that apply. That would be like a checkbox, exactly. Now there's also a text area. This is like it's for writing a lot of stuff. You can make the text area, you can stretch it out. This is for writing like a comment section or something. This select here, I don't know why it's gray, but this select is for selecting options as well. So this also could be like a test area, quiz area. This is all forms, all tests are forms. So then you have this, just drop down. So like this is an example of like a login, right? Your name, your email, you want to sign up for something, click the checkbox, and then you have a button here. If you want to put a placeholder inside the input, then you put a placeholder here, your name. Then we have a checkbox, and then the final input is an input type submit. So input type submit, and then value sign up. That's the input type submit. So now we have just a little bit left. We only have a little bit of time left to work on this here. So I'm going to do it really quick because I have a meeting with my boss in just a little bit of time. See if I can do it in 15 minutes. All right, let's get to work. Where am I? I need to go to register portfolio content. Need to create this contact me section. So now I'm going to go a little bit fast here. So did we create that contact me? Yes, we did. So now I'm going to take from this area, the inputs area. I'm just going to copy it straight from the platform. So where is that section here? Inputs, forms here. So I need to go to forms. I want to create something that looks like this. So I'm going to create, I'm going to take from this input here. And it should say name. So I'll go ahead and type it like that. And then I need to give it an ID. ID equals name. Okay. So now I have this form area, and if I want to put a label to the right, I'm going to say this is a label for name, and this should say name. How is it on the example page? It has a colon. So I'm going to say name. And if I put it to the right, the label will be to the right of the input. So I wanted to put it on the left. So I'm going to cut and paste right here. And now I have a name. And what else do I need to put here? Meeting. Hold on a second here. I need to put an email, so I'm going to just copy this.
So what's the difference between ID and for?
For is going to link the label to the ID of the input. What
So
I
that,
think. Go ahead.
I'm saying, was that why they always have to match?
Yes, they have to match. Yeah. So now I'm going to change it to email. And I need to be going pretty soon, actually. So I'm going to leave any extra questions to Joseph. So I'm going to change this ID to email, change this name to email. And then what do I have here? Now I have this. This is looking great. Now I have 3 more parts here. I'm going to, instead of create a label, I'm just going to create a P tag. Actually, I'm going to create a span tag. We'll have you do some reading on what that means later. You can do that in the section here that it says about divs. Read about difference between span and div. And I'm going to say in here, I'm going to say message. And then here, I'm going to say text area. The name is going to be about me. It's going to say about me. And now it gives the size columns and rows. Let's see how big it is. And I need to make it on the line below. So I'm going to stick a BR tag in between them. And now it's below. Now there is a bit of a trick to making this pop up on the top here. I want you guys to do this on your own, to figure out how to make this message appear at the top and make this text area the same. And then the last thing I need to do is make an input type equal submit. All right, so we have this input type submit here. And I want it on a new line, so I'm going to put a BR tag here. And what I need it to say is submit send message. So if I look at here in my forms area, if I go to the button, the value should say what I want the button to say. So instead of submit, I'll say value send message. Any questions so far? All right, guys, then thank you very much. I am going to look here on the calendar, remind you that today, by the end of the day, you're going to want to do all these assignments, push to GitHub. Oops, sorry. Dictionary entry, fixed indentation, registration form, portfolio content. I pretty much did this for you. I'll upload it later on in the day. I want you guys to struggle with it, making it on your own as you've seen me make it. Read the homework, read selector basics, read advanced, read, do the CSS properties, color red, read the CSS properties, text size. They're all links here. So to go through all these links and do the reading. And then tomorrow we'll be working on CSS, how to style our page. Okay. If you guys have any extra questions, I'm going to leave you guys with Joe here. And Joe, you can create the breakout rooms for me if you would. I am going to I'm gonna go to step into a meeting, and then after I think about at least 30 minutes, I'll be back and I'll be checking in on you guys to make sure all this was well understood. Okay, so thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys participating as you do. Last
Josh,
thing, yes.
no, I was just saying thank you too.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Let's give a level 1 through 10 of our understanding of all this so far. Fantastic. Okay, you guys are all experts. So keep on being great. I will catch you guys in a bit.